Bitcoin has never done this before, ever in the history of Bitcoin ever. And I'm not even talking about the new all-time high, just under 112,000 US dollars, highly inflated US dollars. But we're going to start off with exactly that. And it is right here on the quarterly time frame. I made a few Twitter posts about this in the past month, and the quarterly has done something that we've never seen ever in Bitcoin's history. It is in the process of putting in one mega massive, absolutely impressive, probably the most impressive quarterly I've ever seen ever in my life. Bullish engulfing dildo. Fucking impressive, man. Anyways, a lot of people have been asking, how do you actually define a bullish engulfing or a bearish engulfing for that matter? And of course, to be an engulfing, and this is like a big point of contention, but to be a true engulfing, you need to trade below the low of the prior period and then close above the high of the prior period. So obviously for this quarter, representing the past or the current 3 months, we've seen Bitcoin trade lower than January's low or the first quarter's low. And as of right now, because Bitcoin has made a new all-time high, we do obviously see price above that prior all-time high. So if you are more aggressive, especially on a higher term time frame like this, which I think actually is kind of warranted in these cases, you could easily identify this as a bullish engulfing dildo, a massive one that is absolutely shish kebabbed, all bears, and their anguses going up their anguses out through their mouth, and is probably not stopping, which is actually absolutely fucking insane as far as I'm concerned. But what does this mean for price action? Well, besides the obvious, based off of its name, bullish engulfing, probably bullish continuation, it gives us, it can now adjust the sort of time that I'd really be expecting this current market cycle to go on. So in the past couple of months, I've been saying, or in the past like half a year now, I guess I've been saying, Bitcoin likely tops somewhere between middle of July to end of September. And with this going on here, and assuming that it does confirm by the end of the quarter, which admittedly doesn't happen until June, but I actually do think that this is formality and that it will. I have to push that out at least another couple months from where it priorly was. So I would say at the earliest, you're going to see a top in this market and an actual potential reversal in this market in September, the beginning of Q3. And maybe that could go all the way into, or sorry, that's the beginning of Q4. I apologize. And that could be going all the way into, November, I suppose, at this point. So, that massively influences things for me. I think looking at these higher term timeframes does really, help understand the more long term. Here is the 6 month, and we can see that this thing is also just fucking lunar mode, I suppose. But ultimately, that would likely impact, my general sort of high price targets for Bitcoin for this cycle. Before, I was also saying somewhere around 120 to 125,000 bucks. I think it's not going to be enough. We need more. We need more abundance. We've had some abundance, but we need more. And more abundance is good because it makes these green dildos even fucking bigger, huh? Anyways, I'd probably need some time to actually come back and really analysize, what a reasonable extension of that target would be. But I think it's going to definitely be higher than whatever 120,000 bucks is. So, yeah. Anyways, that's maybe a topic for another video. On top of this, we've also seen the continuation of this downtrend that we've been watching on the stablecoin dominance chart as well. This one had a chance to bounce, and it actually did bounce pretty well here during this past consolidation throughout the beginning of this week. However, it is now officially breaking down, and we are seeing momentum also just confirm this breakdown. We're seeing daily MACD come down freshly, actually, as this thing does make new lows. And this is a 12-hour, but daily will also be coming down as well. But that's also second to the point, because the big focus that we've been having on this, and sort of the thing that has been making me say, hey, while I do think Bitcoin can pull back, which yes, has been massively fucking wrong since 95,000 bucks, but the thing that has still been keeping us on its channel for, just generally expecting upside is this chart right here, the stablecoin dominance, which plays inversely of Bitcoin and the rest of cryptocurrencies as well. Although Bitcoin seems to be the majority winner of this. When you look at altcoin versus Bitcoin pairings, that becomes very, very obvious. But yeah, this chart here does, again, I think it's on a collision course with the past couple macro cycle lows that we've seen from December/January of this year, and also March of last year when Bitcoin topped at 74,000 bucks as well. So I do suspect that we will see things come down at least somewhere around there and play out at best a range like this, and at worst, or I guess at best for the boo laws of crypto, that actually breaks below this range. I think that is a little bit less likely, but again, between where it's currently at right now and those prior lows, that's a lot of room, and that can equate to significantly higher price action. So I would still say in terms of timing, once we see this thing get back down towards these lows at about 5%, give or take a little bit from that number, I would be cognizant that probably we're within about 1 month or so of the next major high, maybe even a macro high as well, as it has been in the past. This first move down here was December. The second move down, which was the prior all-time high, was actually January, middle of January right here. And of course, the same level was hit in March of 2024, but Bitcoin was only $74,000. So even though it'd technically be getting to these same levels that we've seen before, that can still equate to massively new highs on price action. I mean, again, this is 74. This is, and this over here is like, I think 100 and then 109 right here, something like this. So you can see that it doesn't have a direct relationship, but it does imply an inverse price relationship to, of course, the old coins there. Anyways, I do want to get into still a few things in the background because we've only spoken about very high term stuff here. And I've completely forgot to mention it, but probably the most epic signal I've ever seen especially from meta signals, is this daily setup right here has finally hit target number 3. Again, target number 3 is admittedly very low probability, or at least what I consider low probability, which is around about 20%. But it has finally hit target number 3 at $110,358 after 39 days of this one firing off at a given price of $83,378. Fucking insane, man. Absolutely fucking insane. For the people who had the patience to hold on to this from over a month ago, I salute you. You deserve everything that you've gotten, because that is a fucking epic trade, man. This one goes into the Hall of Fame. And of course, if you're looking for signals like this, you can join Meta Signals in the link in the description below. They give out free setups as well. By the way, I believe this one did go out for free, so anyone could have gotten this, anyone could have seen this, and I'll just kind of let it speak for itself there, because that is truly epic. And they still got their, I believe they still have for one more day their current promotion going on, where you can actually get the full access to their whole suite for only $9, compared to the real the regular price. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to get into the more, I guess, short term relative to what we just spoke about on the very high term timeframes. And that is this chart right here. So Bitcoin has been more or less straight up since beginning of April. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I can only assume that this week will also be green as well, but 7 green weeks in a row. And I want to put this in, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record. I know I'm going to sound like a fucking fool, but this is just what I have to do. A stat is a stat, whether you love it or not. And we need to compare that to the past history of Bitcoin, just to see where are we at within the greater scheme of things. We already know that this is an absolutely extreme move. Extreme moves can certainly get more extreme, but let's put this into context of past historical moves. And when we go back and measure out some of the biggest moves for Bitcoin and measure the amount of weeks green consecutive closed, Jesus Christ, I think I have dyslexia, the consecutive weeks of green closures, you're going to see that 7 weeks in a row is, it's starting to get quite up there. So even on this past breakout that we saw from 2024 to the current or the prior all-time highs at just over $100,000, that was only 3 or 4 weeks of general green. The time before that we saw a slew of green bars in a row was back here from October 2023. This was 7 bars. Not including the first one, by the way. So technically 8, actually, if you count all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. If we go back a little bit more, we can see this one, again, coming off of the summer 2021 bear trap. That was 4 bars. If we go back a little bit further to the breakout from 2020, it was about 6 bars. If we go back to the end of the Rona dump, there was about 6 bars in a row straight to the upside as well. Over here, 4 bars on this mega rally, another 6 bars over here on this mega rally, coming after the all-time low, or the prior cycle low, or 2 cycles ago now, I guess. This one over here from the highs of 2017, only 4 bars, although it does look quite impressive. This one over here, okay, 7 bars, pretty fucking epic as well. Absolutely tremendous move, but yeah, 7 bars. And then, it did go into a bit of a corrective phase. It went into a big corrective phase. This one came down about 30% from there. Before that, we see a 7 consecutive green bars over here, coming off of the 2015 cycle lows. And really, to get any more than 7 bars throughout history, which, by the way, there was another 7 bar over here from the 2013 high, we'd have to go all the way back to 2012. And I don't know how relatable this is to current times with Bitcoin, but to be fair, yes, in 2012, there was actually 22 green bars in a row. Fucking insane, no doubt about that. But yeah, it has happened before, and that was actually preceded by a 12 green bar in a row run over here, as you can see. But again, these were on the very, very, very early days of Bitcoin back in 2012 or so. So, how relatable is that to the current times? I would say a lot less so. Basically, since 2015, 7 bars has been about the maximum that you get in a row for these consecutive weekly closings of green here. So looking at this current one, like I said, we are on week number 7 now. So I do look at this again with a little bit of reservation, like I've been saying on these videos. Yes, Bitcoin is not bullish it is not bearish, or bearish isn't even the right word, but it's not like in a bad position until it takes out at least the most recent price action pivot, which, by the way, on the daily is like all the way down at probably $100,000, and on the 4-hour time frame is even all the way down at $104,000. So that's not happening anytime soon. But as long as it's above these numbers, there's no divergences confirmed. There's no actual even like major or local high confirmed. There's nothing really going for the bears until these levels are taken out. Now, as I've been saying for a while now, there are significant amounts of things in the background building up, abso-fucking-lutely, and at some point they will play out for sure. But that can take some time. Like I said, we're kind of in the twilight zone right now, where crazy shit happens, and front-running signals like this, as you can already see, is massively fucking painful and potentially career-ending as well. Anyways, back on the topic here. Like I said, 7 weeks in a row, again, I'm going to feel a little more cautious at a region like this. I'm not interested in buying Bitcoin around here. Yes, it can go much higher. That's fine. But as far as my long-term bags, I will wait for another 20% or more pullback for Bitcoin. And shit, that might mean that Bitcoin goes a lot higher first, and maybe even only comes down to where it's at right now. But that is just my rule with long-term buys. Like I said, I'm starting to focus this channel a little bit more on long-term hodlers as well, just because it's something that I've been spending a lot of time learning since about 2020 now. Anyways, yes. Okay, also on that topic, like I said, there are several divergences building up here. Again, they're not going to be confirmed until Bitcoin has a local high in place. And it's, like I said, very, very, very far away from doing that as of right now. So these are not like major concerns as of this moment, but you can see the weekly right here. At some point it will have it, yes. Do I think it's going to trade higher first? Yeah, actually I do. In fact, we could go to the bi-weekly time frame and you'll see the exact same thing. You're going to have major drives of bearish divergence throughout these past few highs on this cycle. But, it still very likely goes a little bit higher than at least where it's at right now. Maybe even officially test this trend line that has been forming throughout these past couple highs. And we could actually even forecast what a number would look like on Bitcoin through characters RSI here. And let's just see. I'm going to put the edge of the critical bull zone at, I think it's about 70 where that comes in around. Let's call it 72. It's not going to be like super accurate, by the way, just because it's going to update with each and every passing close. So that number should theoretically go down. But let's see. I'm going to put the critical bull level at 72, and let's see what this updates over here. So first it needs to, did it already do it? Yes. Okay. It'll actually enter that above about $120,000. Okay. Maybe that is not so crazy to expect after all. Huh. Anyways, my point is that it can still go higher before these things really start to become like a legitimate concern, I suppose. Even the monthly is, kind of doing the same thing here as well. So fair enough. Anyways, again, I'll reiterate, while these things are in the background, and yes, at some point, I really do expect them to play out, they are not playable in any way, shape, or form until you get at least a local high confirmed. Otherwise, you end up just shorting every little continuation move for Bitcoin. So fair enough. Anyways, I think we've hit just about all of the notes on this one. I do want to actually give a quick spotlight to the quantum wave bands as well. Because you can still get a free trial on this, as are all of our tools are basically on free trials for 7 days, no code needed, nothing like this. But a lot of people have been having a really good time with this one recently, which I'm very, 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 very happy about, because, well, this is this is really the environment that this strategy is designed for. If you do want to play more of a scalping strategy, yes, there also is now a trend trading strategy using the quantum wave bands as its driver as well. But even right now, I mean, this is fucking money. This one actually just took a trade in the overnight session, opening at 106,600 and closing just this morning at 111,700. Or sorry, 111,700 bucks. Fucking insane, man. And several good trades along the way here. Yes, there has been some losses. Absolutely. That does happen. Nothing is 100%. No doubt about that. But this thing has had a pretty damn good run here. As you can see, the P&L curve make new highs, and it's just consistently been up and to the right, through the last, like, I don't know, 5 years now. But yeah, if you're looking for, just something to give you an idea of when you have a probabilistic setup in your favor, similar to meta signals in a way, but this one's certainly more focused on lower term timeframe scalping. In fact, it's only focused on lower term timeframe scalping. Then perhaps consider the quantum wave bands. There's a link in the description below for Teachable. You can find all of the programs there, like the Quant Prime, like the quantum wave bands. Quant Prime's really reserved for like much more advanced people. But you can try out all these things for free. So, you can get 7 days on that and see if it's for you. If it's not for you, all good. Just cancel. There's no hidden bullshit or nothing like this. All you do is just cancel, and then it's all good. It's all good in the hood. And that's where we're going to leave things for today. As always, I'd like to wish everyone the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully Friday for some good old live stream action.